Hello, and welcome back to Mindfully Rich Podcast, your weekly look at life and finances with a twist. I'm your girl, Richie. We back for season 2, y'all. What's up? I know I done been gone, but I'm back and I'm better. Oh my goodness, y'all. Had to take a break for those 2 weeks just because when I completed season 1, that was 25 episodes back to back. I wanted to make sure I was getting the rest that I needed. I needed to take that break so that I'm able to come back to y'all with new topics, rejuvenated, all of that good stuff. Just like when I be talking to y'all about how you can improve your own self-care, improve your own mental health. I had to do the same thing. So I wanted to make sure I'm being a student of the things that I talk to y'all about. And I'm super excited. Thank y'all once again for all of the listens that y'all have been giving me. I mean, y'all just don't understand. Even during those 2 weeks, while I wasn't promoting, I wasn't doing anything. Like literally, I took a chill pill. I was chilling out. I did not promote the show once, not until about 3 days before today. Okay. And so I reached 2,500 downloads, which may not sound like a lot to y'all, but it is a lot to me. I am super excited that y'all have taken the time to listen, share, do all of the things. Send me your support, send me your love, all of those good things I'm super excited about. And you want to know what? I'm going to the top after this. Like, I'm super excited. I have some plans in the works to make sure that the podcast is getting the exposure that it needs just because I believe that it does some good. So I'm working on what my branding is going to look like. And just lots of stuff to come. So once again, thank y'all for joining me for season 2 today. And like I said, I wanted to begin season 2 on my dearly departed mother's birthday. Today is September 10th. And it is my mother Renee's birthday, who I always reference as me mama. I used to call her Renee. I had so many names for her. And as I'm sitting here recording this, I'm just sitting here just looking at her picture. And y'all, it's, woo. Although emotional, I wanted to bring the podcast back on this day just because I wanted to honor my mom. And I'm trying to find ways each year that I can make sure that I'm honoring her on her birthday, on the day that she left us, things like that. And I'm finding many ways that I want to do that. And so this is one of those ways. And so for today, for those of y'all that are new, because all of y'all not going to know about this, what I like to do is take song titles and use those as the topic point, and we use that for the mindful money moment. And so the song title inspiration for today comes from Marvin Sapp, Never Would Have Made It. I don't know if y'all know this song. It is a gospel song, but it is also an inspirational song. And I never would have made it without my mom. Not in the literal sense of because she had me, but there is so much that I think back on now. And, it's something because you should always make sure that you're giving flowers to the people who are in your life while they're living, and I sit back, makes me emotional thinking about. I sit back and I think about, I don't know if I really gave all of the flowers to my mom while she was here on earth. I know she knows that I love her. I know she knew it while she was here on this earth. And so when I say I never would have made it without her, I'm saying that my mom's influence in my life directly and indirectly made me into the woman that I am today. Without my mom's influence, without the experience that I was able to have, having her on this earth, I wouldn't be who I am today. And so I want to talk about that, especially how that relates to my financial life. And so for those of y'all that are new, I am a financial educator. I've been in the financial industry for 14 years. I've studied finances. I love talking about money. And the reason why I do this podcast is so that I'm able to share my experiences, because I don't believe enough people share what it is that they go through so that we're able to learn those lessons without having to learn the hard lessons of going through it ourselves. And so in my financial life, I learned resilience from growing up with my mom, just because I grew up in a single parent household. And so we had a house where it was more month than money coming in. And so you had to learn how to make a way quick, just because when you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And so that was something that I've kept in my life right now. I make sure that I don't over exceed myself. I don't overspend just because of how I grew up. Now, of course, I love that I'm able to do things that I never thought that I would be able to do. But the thing is, I still remember what my upbringings look like. And so I make sure that I'm paying attention, and I do know how to make a way if I just need to. Okay. Not trying to down anything that my mom did, just because I believe all of the experiences that I went through made me a better person, made me into the educator that I am today. Like, I can remember going through times where things would get cut off. So let's say the heat. I don't know if y'all didn't ever lived in a house where you've never had heat before. I don't even think my grandma and them knew about this, okay? Where you had to open the oven up so that you can get heat, okay? I didn't have that time before, okay? And let me tell you what, it teaches you that, all right, how much money is needed to pay this bill? We're going to make sure that next time we got enough so that we're able to pay this particular bill, okay? Because heat matters when you don't have it, especially when you growing up in Chicago, okay? And so, not that it happened often, but it actually happened before. And I've had tons of things that have happened before that have taught me this same resilience that I'm talking to you about. And so, when I'm talking about making a way, some people don't know what that's like to try to just make a way with what it is that you have. We're in a time right now, the climate that we're in, due to COVID, due to things that are going on around us. People are losing their jobs. They don't know how to operate on less income than what they were receiving. People are losing their jobs, so they don't know what to do there. You're waiting on unemployment. There's lots of things that are happening. I believe from my experience with my mom, I've learned what that make a way looks like. I talk a lot about my past experiences, and child, I done been through some life stages that have required me to call upon all of the resilience that I learned. Like, I'm one of those people that believes God will never put more on us than we can bear. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. And when I was going through specific life stages over the past 5 years, I've had to remember how to make a way. I've had to do that. And so I bring that up just because when you're not resilient enough, when you've never been through anything, when you've never been through a tough time, you don't understand what making a way looks like, even when times are tough. And so that's something that I absolutely love that I learned early, because had I not learned that, I don't believe that I would be sitting right here, right now, even producing a podcast to bring to y'all, because I wouldn't have made it through. Okay, y'all, you have to go back and go listen to some previous episodes to understand and hear about everything that I went through. But I've been through some stuff over the past 5 years that I'm so glad that I was able to make it out of. And speaking of those things, another way that my mom taught me indirectly was how she lived her life. So my mom started working at 15. So that was something that I always would look at and say, that's such an accomplishment. I have no idea why I thought working at 15 was just the business, right? I was like, I got to do that too. And so what I did was I started working at 14, because I was like, I'm going to beat her about 1 year. So I started working at 14, and my first job was at Malcolm Wigs. I remember this like yesterday. This is the reason why I have such an affinity for hair, and I love me some weave and some pieces and wigs and all of the things. Because my first job was at a wig store, and when I tell you I was in heaven, yes, 14 years old, lied on the application and everything. But my biggest thing was I wanted to be able to bring in money, just like my mom said that she was able to do at 15 when she started working at this hospital called Ingalls. So all my people listening at home, y'all already know Ingalls. And so I did that, but I always saw my mom have a job. That was one thing that she knew how to get. Like, my mom was job queen. And I too have never had a problem with obtaining a job. And so because I got a chance to see her always putting herself out there, getting a job everywhere. I mean, my mom worked summer everywhere back at home. And I would be like, oh yeah, you worked here. You worked there. She accumulated a lot of experience from those jobs and she knew about, it felt like damn near everything. Now, I didn't know this then, but now I look back on my life and I have such an appreciation for seeing how much of a hustler my mom was, just because y'all don't know. Look, I didn't been working. Okay. My first official job was at 14. But when I was 12, I had a job. It was like a hustle job. Okay. Nothing illegal, not too illegal. Okay. Not drugs. Let's say that. Okay. But I had a job. Okay. And so I'll say me getting a chance to see my mom with all of those hustling skills made me into the go-getter and hustler that I am today. And even my mom was a part of this office education program. I don't know if y'all remember when you're in high school and you can get into like those work programs. So we went to Thornwood High School. Me and my mom both went to Thornwood, and she was a part of office education. And so I said, I got to be a part of office education. And so there was different programs. If you remember how those work programs work, you know, you had different sectors that you can go into. And so I wanted to be in the same sector that my mom was in. And so I look back on all of those things and all of the ways that I was trying to be like my mom from all of the things that she was teaching me, not directly, but indirectly, just from her actions. And so those are a lot of the attributes that make me into the woman that I am today. And I didn't even know it. Not until I was formulating this episode did I think back and say, dang, you know, that really did help me. And that's something that I've never gotten a chance to tell my mom. Of course, she can hear me talking about it now, but those are things that have made me who I am today. And so I want to kind of circle back a little bit. And I talked about resilience. And so I don't know what type of situation you're in listening to this right now. This is one of those lighter episodes because I'm talking about my mom, but I did want to talk about resilience for a second, just because I don't know what you're experiencing. I don't know if you've ever had a day where you didn't have the amount of money that you're making, or you've never had a life stage happen that threw you off your square for a second. You know, those are the types of things that we need to make sure that we have resilience from. And also we have plans. And so in finances, it is always important that you have some type of plan. That's what's going to help you build the resilience that you need. Or you're going to have to put your hustler hat on and be able to be one of those I'm a make a way type of people like my mom was. So in honor of what would have been my mom's 61st birthday today, Mama, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for all of the things that you've instilled in me, knowingly and unknowingly, because it has made me into the woman that I am. And I know that I wouldn't and couldn't be who I am without you. As I'm sitting here looking at my mom's picture, I just want to thank you, Mama. I want to tell you that I love you. I miss you every single day. I miss hearing your voice. I miss talking to you, all of those things, Ma. And so I know that you got my podcast on through heaven's speakers right now, you know, playing for all the angels and God up there, you know, so he could send all the big ups and stuff. No, but for real, the only way I know how to get through pain is through laughter. And so this episode, y'all, is mainly just an appreciation for my mom, just because I absolutely love my mom so much and I miss her so much. And you wouldn't have me if I never had her. And so we're going to go ahead and move into a new segment that I'm calling If then. And so our if then this week is, if you want better in your life, then you have to strive for better. What are you gonna do? Outkast got a song called You Gotta Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something. And so money isn't hard. We make money situations and our finances way harder than what they have to be. Today, I talked a lot about resilience. I also talked about making a way. And so for the if then moment, what are you going to do in your life so that you're able to strive for better if you're not happy with where it is that you currently stand? And then also, how are you going to get up, get out, and get something? And so our last segment for the podcast is our mindful financial self-care tip, just because I always believe that y'all should have some type of wellness tip before you get on off here, because that's what I'm about. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm bringing more financial wellness to everyone. And so the tip this week is to get more sleep. Do you know when you're sleeping that your body is, although it's rejuvenating, you're also healing yourself? And so we need our sleep, y'all. We just do. Because we make lots of decisions throughout a day. We make the decision if we're going to pop off on somebody, if they, get an attitude with us, financial decisions, life decisions, decisions with children if you have them, decisions with your partner. You're just making decisions all day, okay? And so because you're making so many decisions, you need your rest. Because if you're not up to the day, if you're not up for the day, I'll say that, because you can't be up to the day and for the day. It's a thing. I ain't gonna go into both of them. But anyways, if you're not rested, you can make the wrong decisions. And ain't nobody got no time for us to be making the wrong decisions in our life and our finances and all of those other realms of our lives. So make sure y'all are getting your sleep. All right, y'all. So in the future, I'm looking to add one more segment, which is going to be the Ask Richie segment, where you can ask me a question and I answer it live on the podcast. You can start emailing me your questions to mindfullyrich@gmail.com. You can also DM me your questions. I'm on IG at mindfully_rich_podcast. DM me your questions for the Ask Richie segment. We'll go ahead and get that started. Other than that, y'all, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. That's in the words of one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you for tuning in to this very special season 2, first episode in dedication to my mother. I truly appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all listen, share. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.